Hello, Island Runner here. Back after a few days away. I'm running today with Silence Kit once again, but this is actually an updated version of the deck list by the same guy that built the original deck. Found my thread on Reddit actually with my video playing this last time and linked me to a new version which is actually running the Gauntlet as IG. Splendid. Everyone loves playing a bit of IG. Good luck, have fun. There'll be little fun in this game. So we've got Maker's Eye in the opening hand. It's not the most amazing opening hand, but I kind of don't mind having early Maker's Eye. I might just keep this and try and finish this quickly. Yeah, so this deck is pretty much exactly the same as last time, other than we've swapped the Astrolabes out and bought in, we've had to free up some influence as well, but we've bought in the Gauntlet as a console, which gives added HQ pressure. So yeah, let's just Maker's Eye straight away. So Gauntlet says, when you make a successful on HQ, you access one additional card for every piece of ice which you... for every piece of ice which you broke all the subroutines on. So that just gives you an added bit of pressure. It is worth noting that if there's two pieces of ice on HQ, and we... let's do that. If there's two pieces of ice on HQ, we go in, we Inversicator, break one, use Inversicator to swap it and break it again. Although we've encountered ice on two occasions there, we've only broken the subroutines on one piece of ice, because it is recognised as the same piece again. But even in that case, it's the same as having an HQ interface, and if they do start stacking ice on HQ, then you can get even more accesses. Right, let's draw up. We can drop this if we want to. Yeah, let's just drop that. Let's money up. I hate playing IG. I know that's not going to be a revelation to anybody, because most people feel that way. It's I like IG as a deck or as an ID because it does something quite different from other decks. It changes the way the game's played. It lets you play out these assets, make them really, really difficult to trash or just not worth trashing. And it's interesting for the game. I don't think it's a bad thing to have in the game. I find it frustrating to play against personally. And yes, I realise it's a little bit ironic to say that when one of my last videos was me playing IG, but we can all play stuff that we dislike. So let's see. Let's put Beth down, because that's going to benefit us in the long run. I'm tempted to put the same old thing down as well, just in case there's a bioethics somewhere, and that protects the levy, basically. So yeah, let's do that. Money up. So the levy could be really important if we are playing against bioethics. The same old things are important for using the spoons and the Maker's Eyes, which we probably want to keep recurring. So we want to get those just on the table as quick as we can, just in case there is bioethics in play. Nothing happened with the server 5, which kind of makes me want to run it, but then equally it might just be that he's waiting to set up 2 bioethics rather than 1. So there's an egret. That's not going to help too much. Let's just draw up and set ourselves up for a bit. That could be helpful, but yeah. There's another Maker's Eye. Perhaps we will. So we can get rid of this Magnum. We can get rid of the Levy as long as he's not running. I think we can get rid of all the moddeds. Let's money up. Get rid of the Magnum and get rid of one of these moddeds. The main targets for modded are going to be Inversificator and Gauntlet. The only other program, I mean, we have got multiple Inversificators, and sometimes we do install more than one, but for the most part, we just want one Inversificator and one Equivocation and the Gauntlet. Gauntlet might not max. He's not. I'm tempted to have a Poker HQ. He's not iced it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have a look in HQ and see what's in there. Just in the off chances I want something. If not, I think we're going to go for server 7 as well. It's a complete kind of stab in the dark, but nothing's gone. Oh, yeah, the 3 went down last time. So actually, we're definitely going to go for one of these. Let's go for the one that went down first. That's a no. We don't care about that particularly. Oh, we're gonna spend time checking these other ones. Yeah, I guess. Cool. We got a House of Knives, which makes me think. So, do we check server 9, assuming that is also possibly worth seeing, or do we assume that that one was a trap? Let's run it. The only card we really care about here is Maker's Eye. And we've got time to remove a tag if it happens to be a snare or something. So let's see. It's a Jackson, that's fine, that can stay. So our last click will be to money up. Okay, so getting the House of Knives was good. It is a point for us. It is a bit less net damage that they can deal out to us. It's also showing us that he is willing to put out agendas naked on the table, so it's something for us to bear in mind. We haven't seen any traps as yet, although to be fair, we haven't seen a lot of cards. He's not really rezzing traps. The only things we've seen on the HQ run was the neural. I think we just seen neural EMP, right? That's all we saw. Yeah, it was Kagugo from HQ earlier on. I forget what the cards on the R&D Maker's Eye were, but that was longer, and they obviously weren't traps. So 2 more in the stalls, which is kind of daring us to look. We do have 5 clicks. I think maybe we check one of these and not the other. Let's have a look at 11. Bioethics. It does have to go, really. There is a hostile, but yeah, we can't let that stick around. So I want to check that other one now. Psychic Field. Awesome. 1. Splendid. There's no need to trash this because we now know that server 10 is a Psychic Field and we will never go there again. And in a slightly cheeky move, I'm going to write this there so I remember. Right. Let's pop that down. End the turn. IG, not going to spend a lot of money probably. It might be Chiashi's DNA trackers. Bit of money on ice, but in general, it's probably not going to have to spend a ton of money. Enforced curfew. Installed in server 10. So that was over. Okay, so he's installed something over a server 10. So I think we're going to check that again. Let's just see. Yeah, it's a snare. That's fine. We're not going to trash it. Now, do we want the Jack 12 as well? It's a Jack's Pavilion. How many cards are face down? There are 3, so it's going to cost us 8 to trash that, which is all our money. It will also hit us for net damage. And we will struggle to get rid of the tag. So, I think we remove the tag, draw, get this down, draw, leave it at that. We will have to get rid of that Genetics Pavilion probably because, well, we're down 1 bioethics so far. I mean, Genetics Pavilion's not a massive problem as long as we're not taking consistent damage. There's 2 neural EMPs in a row. 1 for the Levy, 1 for the Spooned. So we've got Diesel, which will draw us 2 guards. Which makes me think, I don't know, if we trash the Genetics Pavilion, we do lose that. So Diesel was essentially draw 2 cards rather than 3. But yeah, let's do it. Is Patron beneficial here? It's money. Get rid of this in server 12 because it's just going to become a pain in the arse long term. Yeah, pay 8. And then, so he's paid 2 neurals, so at best he's got 1 in HQ. So that's fine. But let's draw, just in case there's a bioethics. I don't want to play that out and just leave myself with an empty hand, because that seems like suicide, yeah. So Dirty Laundry goes, that's kind of fine. I think we're going to put the bioethics down. I mean, we've got plenty of targets to run each turn, and it'll just let us draw cards to try and set up. We've not seen SMC or any of our programs yet, other than the egret, which I don't think is going to matter in this game. There's not likely to see a lot of ice get installed. I do want to check one of these again, but we can't afford to keep running into... Okay, so Friends for Genetic Pavilion in server 16. Oh, hang on, no. Genetics Pavilion was server 10. Yeah. This is the Joyful IG game. So yeah, like I said, I don't think IG is bad for the game. I think it's a good idea to have. It does something interesting. It just makes for some really boring prison games, and like, we're not quite stuck in the prison just yet, but we are kind of on the cusp of it. And I'm starting to think our play might be to ignore this and go for accesses on R&D. The same old thing, Maker's Eye, which means we need to look for Inversificator. Gauntlet is not dead, but probably not great for us. Let's put down Patron. Let's do that twice. I think if we lose the Gauntlet, it's not a massive deal because we're probably going to try and just win off R&D. So yeah, there's a second bioethics, so now we do have a problem. And there's a second hostile infrastructure. So we are pretty much at the concede point, to be honest. So Patron would let us draw 2 cards. We can't draw any more. If we trash 1 bioethics, we take damage. So yeah, we are in prison. We can't win at this point. Yeah, we can't win at that point. Yeah, that's prison. GG. I'd rather concede and play another game than sit through the rest of that. So yeah, let's find ourselves another game, and let's hope we are not against another one of those. Now, I've watched a few games in the competitive lounge this evening while I've been doing some other bits, and there does seem to be a ton of IG prison decks getting played. I watched Simon Moon playing some, and since then there seems to be some other people playing it, which means IG is apparently the flavour today on Jinteki. So come on, let's have a better example of this deck. I don't begrudge anybody playing prison decks. I've played prison decks myself. I used to play Gagarin all the time in my local meta. So yeah, I don't begrudge people playing prison decks. People are entitled to play whatever they want, and there's a really important... I think actually Code Marvel's talked about this in one of his videos before, where you don't owe the other person a good game. As long as you are polite and play within the rules, you're not responsible for the other player having a good time. Custom biotics. Okay, we can live with this. Good luck. And that's not a bad starting hand at all. In fact, that's a really nice starting hand. We're definitely going to keep this. So, there are no Jinteki cards, and we don't have to worry about traps firing on access, which means if he doesn't ice that, we will probably just make his eye. Okay, that's fine. So let's mod it out the Magnum. Let's draw a card. Okay. So 13 laundry into archives. Modded for Magnum Opus. Click that Magnum Opus. And we've actually got the Gauntlet and Inversificator now already, so we're kind of set up to already be putting pressure on both of those 2 central servers that we care about. This is a really decent start. The only thing we would really ideally want is just a bit more card draw. If we could find like the Patron or just some Diesels or the Beth. So, I mean, we could just go Inversificator and make his eye a bit... Yeah, it's a bit brave. Let's draw 2. Yeah. Lots of money. Bit more money. Custom bikes is an interesting one to play against because there's no obvious like deck archetype of what they're doing. So you could be expecting anything. Like that. A single advanced card. It's what, Cerebral Overwriter? Let's draw one. Let's Dirty Laundry Archives. Put down the Gauntlet or put down the Inversificator? Put down the Inversificator, I think. Dirty Laundry Archives. Thank you. Let's draw one more. Yeah, let's put down Inversificator. And next turn, we can either go for 2 accesses on HQ with the Gauntlet, or we can go for 3 accesses on R&D with Maker's Eye. Let's see if he scores something out there. Or if that is just... Okay, yeah, so it is going to be an agenda? Or we're just doing a single advance? This is going to be like some kind of weird... Is it an agenda or is it a trap type deck? I mean, if it's an agenda, you just score it. Unless you're like really, really brave. Do you want to advance it again? I can't stop you. Upgrade an R&D. So like it's black level clearance. It's Batty. No, it's not Batty because we're custom biotics. Which means that I probably don't care. But I might, if I'm going to go in there, I think I want to, just in case it's Chrysium, respect that. So let's go Mopus, run R&D. If it's a black level clearance, then fine. We just jack out and let them have it. Yeah, next silver. I mean, it's not a massive surprise to see next ice. So we'll do that. We will swap you just to force the res next turn, even though if it's more X ice, it's just powering them up, but that's fine. It's still costing them some money. Let's access the upgrade first. It's Ryan Knight. Hey. Do we care about this? Are we going to run it with no unspent clicks? We can afford to trash it just to be sure, so we will. And we'll get an agenda from that. That's lovely. And the temptation is almost had to Maker's Eye, but that's probably a bit brave. Let's draw a card. Oh, SMC is kind of nice. So we could go Gauntlet, SMC, Equivocation. And if Ryan Knight wasn't the giveaway, then this definitely is. They're going to brain damage us, which means that this was almost certainly a Cerebral Overwriter. Domestic Sleepers, okay, cool. So Domestic Sleepers is 5 clicks for 1 point. So 5 clicks, 2 credits for 1 point. If you think that's good, that is entirely your choice. So yeah, I'm going to Magnum, Gauntlet, SMC. Yeah, Domestic Sleepers has just never seemed good at all. And it doesn't even help, like, it's not even like it helps lower your agenda density because you still want to put more agendas in because you haven't got enough agenda points. So yeah, it just puts more agendas in your deck, and some of them don't do something for the runner. It's not a good card. Mopus, Maker's Eye. Letting us in, which means we will SMC for the Equivocation. Successful run. Should we reel it? It's Brian Stinson. I don't think we are ever going to go down below 6 credits, most likely. So yes, you can have that. Hedge Fund, Ruhr Valley. We don't want that to stay, but equally, we don't want you to be able to play Stinson next turn, although there's not really a lot in there. Let's leave it there. We can go and get it next turn for once. The second card down. And we're still an agenda. So, yeah, money up. So, the second card down is the Ruhr Valley. We wouldn't mind going back in and getting it again this turn if we can. So, there's the hedge fund, yeah. So, we do just want to respect Stinson, though. Stinson's not a massive threat to us in this game. Because, like, there's 2 pieces of ice. So, what are they going to do with that money, really? Other than Biotic, perhaps. So I'm kind of tempted to do 3 Mopuses and then a Maker's Eye. We could get rid of that Ruhr Valley. So that puts us on 16. This puts us down to 14. Trashing the Ruhr Valley puts us on 10. So we're still outside of Stinson range. Yeah, let's just do that. Do that. Unless this is massive ice. Oh, yeah, fine. So, break one. We could swap it for lols, but that just seems silly. So we are in. So it's Ruhr Valley. We want to keep this here and trash it, I think. So yeah, let's do that. So we're not going to make them draw it. Trash that. The second card is Orion Knight. You can keep that. And enhanced login protocol. Okay. So yeah, this is like click compression and going for brain damage. That's cool. We are like 4 points up, 3 if they use their turn for domestic sleepers. That's Orion Knight. Fine. We just won't run with clicks not to spare. It's not difficult to do. So let's just draw up for the minute. Okay. Maybe we'll take a poke at HQ next turn, although we've seen a fair few of the cards going into their hand. Okay, that's fine. Advancing a card in the server. It always fascinates me when people like put down a card, advance it, you don't run it, and then they carry on slow advancing it. It's either like a really good agenda play or it's just terrible. So I'm semi-tempted to just spoon one of these next ice now and have done with. Let's draw once and see what we find. Beth. Okay, actually, so that's just money, Beth. We'll spoon next turn, but in the meantime, we'll let them get a little bit of money just to fuel our Beth. Ideally, he'll get a little bit more money and do our draw for us next turn. Especially if they are going to try and sort of compress our clicks, then it'll be nice if... okay, so it actually was an agenda, so I take back everything I said. I lose a click at the start of their turn if they want me to. Yeah, I can live with that, that's fine. So it's the ELP. So, if he does this, it puts us down to 3 clicks. Does he like get a choice each turn? Yes, he does. Okay. So we've got 3 clicks. If we ELP, it leaves us with 1 click, which means Orion Knight still won't fire. So yeah, I think we will spoon this. Oh, it's a card ability anyway, so that's even better. So yeah, spooned R&D. Break one. Have you got more ice? Because we've not seen any on any of our accesses. Trash that silver, please. Yup. So reveal the top card of R&D. No, we'll have that. So if we trash that, it puts us down to 6. We can money up so that you can't Stinson if that's the Stinson there. Do we really need to trash the Ryan Knight? Can we just play around it? I don't think we care right now. It can just stay. And then we could run again. While it's naked. Yeah, run R&D. Reveal the top card. So it's another Ryan Knight. You can have that. That's another enhanced login protocol. We're not trashing you. And we're just going to draw. Makers are even better. So if you don't ice R&D this turn, we could just smash in to basically see 4 cards and try and just get the win. It's another Ryan Knight. That's awesome. That's really cool tech. If we ever run on the last click, but we've seen it, so it just doesn't seem very good. Yep, you're going to make us lose a click. That is fine, because we are going to make his eye. So, force you to draw the next bronze, go for it. Let's have ELP, load testing, Archer. Oh, it's for the domestic sleepers. Wow, that's really cool. He says, no, we don't care. No, we don't care. So what we do at this point, we've seen the top 3 cards. We could take a poke at HQ, but let's draw one. If there's nothing inspiring, we'll just money up. Unable to pay for Magnum Opus. Yeah, sorry, I think I clicked it twice. So we've seen the top 3. You've drawn this. We've seen the top 2. There was a load testing and an Archer. So that's the next bronze, which is fine. We can just go straight through that. Next bronze is a code gate, which means we also know we can actually run HQ first, get an access using that ID ability, and then go to R&D. Obviously, we do want to be aware of the Ryan Knights, though, which we've seen telegraphed a million times. Yep. Going to use load testing to make us lose a click. If he also uses that, we only get 2 clicks, which means if we run this turn, that's fine. We won't run this turn. I don't know if we're supposed to get. In fact, that's Brian Stinson. So maybe we're pretty sure this is Brian Stinson, which makes me think actually we could just run HQ this turn. Yeah, let's risk it. If that is the other, then so be it. So let's do that. Do we want to swap this? Yeah, because we're probably going to go back to HQ pressure next time. So let's swap it just so they have to pay for it. It's obviously not Ryan Knight because he hasn't rezzed it. So we broke 1 piece of ice for all the subroutines. So we get to access 2 cards. Next wave 2. And that's that. GG. So yeah. Cybernetics is a weird deck. Customized, sorry. Yeah, not a great example of a game really. We set up relatively quickly. They didn't seem to see any ice at all, and we could just see what their game plan was, which meant we could just play around it really comfortably. Ryan Knight really only works if it's a surprise, once you know it's there. Even with ELPs and load testings and voting machine initiatives, then that's fine. You just sort of shrug and go, well, I'll run next turn, right? Okay, let's see if we can get one more game in quickly. Hey, Will's online. What's Will playing? Will is playing his noise. Terrible. Recording. And we are going to be the runner again. So let's have one more go with Kit. So we've only made use of the Gauntlet once in these 2 games so far, but I've played a bunch of times over the weekend with it, and I do really like the Gauntlet in there. It's just really nice added pressure. When you can start getting 3 or 4 accesses off HQ, it's really good. Good luck and have fun. Hey, it's Black Tree. Awesome. So yeah, we don't run. Recording for what? So we're not running feedback filter. So we have a Maker's Eye. We have Equivocation. Sure. Yeah, we'll keep this. So traditionally against Personal Evolution, I'm a really silly player and I spend way too long building up board state and not remembering that actually my cards are now my life points. Cool, advanced assembly lines in PE, which means this is bioethics or something horrible, right? Always. Okay, so there's ice and R&D, so we're not going to do what we suggested. So let's Diesel, Mopus, Click for Money, Beth. So yeah, it's really important to not just burn for your deck really quickly trying to set up everything you want, because you need your money to last as hit points. And we're already playing the shell game, but we might just ignore it and take a poke at HQ. Let's click up once. Let's take a poke at HQ and just see if there's something hidden in there very nicely. There's a Friends and High Bases. Awesome. Do that. Okay, so we got investigators. We can now threaten that R&D. If that's House of Knives, that's kind of annoying. Brain trust with team sponsorship. Cool. And we do know there's a Friends in HQ, so even if we don't trash the team sponsorship, it is going to come back. But we do have money. And yeah, we can't afford for team sponsorship to sit there, to be honest. We do have to deal with it. Even if there's a Friends, like, you can Friends once. And then we'll just probably have another Friends in hand. So let's do that. Let's money up. Do we want to check server 6? I am kind of tempted. But if he scores something to bankrupt himself, so that's fine. If he bankrupts himself, we'll just hit R&D. Sneaky. Okay. So, we lost the Maker's Eye there as well, so that's kind of annoying. That changes what we wanted to do a little bit. Let's go. Draw 1. Gamble. Inversificator. Money. And next turn we'll run RD. If he reses it, then we can spoon it the following turn. Although we want Equivocation down, and there's a House of Knives. So we do need to bear that in mind. So advanced assembly lines, put something out again. It can't be an agenda, we know that. Yeah. I just want a load of card draw, to be honest. Okay, so Friends for team sponsorship and advanced assembly lines. Is he going to fire that assembly lines now? No, apparently not. So, let's get rid of the sponsorship. There goes the equivocation. That's fine. We can live with that. I'm not entirely against like drawing up and trying to make him just spend these House of Knives tokens and get rid of them so we don't have to keep worrying about them. But we don't want to lose those, so we'll do that. Patron will help a lot in this because it lets us draw 2 cards for 1 click. And that just lets us recover and have cards in hand to deal with any traps or net damage we take. So ice on HQ, which means we can make use of the Gauntlet now once we find it. Advanced assembly line something out again. In fact, ice on that server 7. Interesting. So let's take 1 draw. Let's go same old. Patron, Magnum. So Patron means we can run Archives to draw 2 cards, but they can House of Knives us for 1. So that is important to remember. So there's 2 remotes gone out. One of those has got to be an agenda, I suspect. Let's put Patron on Archives. We can live without any of these if they go. The spoons we'd like to keep, but we can't just like install them because that's just not how it works. So we lose 1 spooned. We draw these 2. Now this does help against DNA trackers. I do want to check one of these, but like which one is a complete stab in the dark. So let's go server 10. I like to check the first installed card a lot of the time. So yeah, it's advanced assembly lines. He's had the 2 credit benefit. We will trash it. If we check server 11 now, if it is a snare, we can clear the tag still. So yeah, let's do that. Use that last House of Knives for us to get out of the way. Yeah, it's gone. So there goes personal touch. And that's so be it. Kronos project, like, it wouldn't be end of the world if he'd managed to score it, but we would like him to not, ideally. So that's both our spoons gone, which is a little annoying. Let's get out the same old thing, just in case they're running neurals. So we can run without worrying about like direct net damage during the run now. The House of Knives tokens are gone. So we can make better use of the Patron. Arc lockdown for spooned. Yep. That's kind of annoying because that's both our copies of spooned. So ice is sticking around. So be it. Run Archives. I really like Patron. When Patron got previewed, I wasn't feeling it at all. But it's got its place in certain decks. I'm not saying it's like something you need to include in every deck, clearly, but it is nice. See, we can afford to lose all of this, which makes me think, let's go and check server 12. Yeah, that's fine. We can live with that. If we trash it, it just lets them possibly recur it. Let's leave it there. There's a snare in server 12. Okay, so server 12 is a snare. We should just start pounding R&D, I think. Pounding R&D obviously is risky because of snares, but that's fine. We can draw up, make sure we've got enough cards to make it worthwhile. In fact, we can use server 12 as a target for Patreon because we don't access it. So yeah, not that it matters if we go there or archives, but we'll just do this to for the sake of it. So yeah, run server 12. There's a pause, which might be our opponent being polite to let us know that it's a snare and we know. But yeah, we're not going to access any cards. Let's do that. Let's dirty laundry it. Dirty laundry R&D. So even if we get snared for those 3 cards, we can draw back up. That's a little more. No, we can make it one of these. Break it. Swap it with that. Project Kusanagi. Oh, that's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Yay. We got 0 agenda points and we suffered a net damage. You rock, PE. We have 2 same old things down, so even if we do lose it, see our Levitt somewhat and lose it, we can get it back. They've played 1 arc lockdown. There's actually a ton of influence in here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 10 influence in there. So yeah. This is cool. This is definitely cool. Let's go archives. Is this going to be like a Jackson because you haven't realised that this is it? No, that's fine. That's cool. Film critic is a big help in this match. So let's modded out this. Let's check HQ. This is quite risky actually, because if we see a snare, this is bad. So when we pass this, we take a net damage, and when we pass it, we can versificate it. So we get to choose the order of that. We get to do it us first. So we pass it, we move it. Have we still passed it? Awkward rules time. Rules time. If I break with versificator, pass it, my triggers go, so I move it. I'm guessing it still fires the net damage. Pretty sure that's right. Let's just go with that. Yeah. That's good with me. I think that sounds right. So, yeah. Let's break it. I think we might have to let me pass first, just to let the Jinteki interface go. So yeah, I pass it, so I take a net damage. I'm going to swap it with Jackson. This is kind of risky now, but let's just go for it. So I broke all the subroutines on 1s. We get access 2 cards. Project Kusanagi. Let's. That's so annoying. Let's just steal it. We'll see what happens. House of Knives. That one we'll put on there. Okay. So with 17 cards in the heap, we have 17 left in our stack. We got 1 in our grip. If there's 2 Neurals in hand, then it's just game. But if it was, then our opponent would probably not be saying damn rather than just celebrating our demise. So the next turn is going to be to just put this into our score area, draw some cards via Patron, and then probably, it depends what we draw, but probably just mag them for money while we've got a spare click. So yeah, we'll put this on archives. Oh cool, so we run archives for 2 cards. We add this to our score area, and then I think we just put down this. I mean, maybe it's better to just keep that as hit points, but now we've got Film Critic, we're a little bit more comfortable on like the hit points, at least for our scoring. We have 4 agendas in our score area, and we have 2 points. That's ridiculous. It's like having News Team all over again. Yeah, Project Kusanagi's kind of cool if you score it yourself, I guess. Okay, so they put something new in server 12 and something in server 13. Yeah, so we probably have to check at least one of these cards. So let's go draw some cards from archives. I think we will do this into 13. Server 13, we turn that into a code gate, we break it, let's put it on HQ, and let's see what we get. It's turtlebacks, we can live with that, that's fine. They didn't res the turtlebacks before they put server 14 down, but that's probably just like a mistake. Let's check one of these, we're going to check 12 or 14. Let's check 14. And if it doesn't hurt us, we'll probably... Okay. So do we want to check server 12 as well? If it's an agenda, we just take 1 hit point. If it's a trap, we take like 3. But if it's a snare, it means they can get rid of our film critics, and no, we don't want to do that. So for the last click, let's just put that down. Good and lucky are 2 different things. Eee, Cronus Project. Okay, so that's a lot of our hit points gone. Put that in archives. Let's add that. So if Diesel lets us draw 3 cards, but we lose a hit point by doing it, whereas just getting the draws from this means we get to keep the Diesel as an extra hit point. So yeah, we archives. We hadn't seen Levy, had we? Because that would be a problem. No, that's fine. Maker's Eye, nice. So maybe next time we Diesel Maker's Eye. I want 3 agenda points though, man. So, yeah. Maker's Eye is almost not... It is not great in a way, because if we see a card, we put it on Film Critic, and if we see another, we have to steal it, but yeah. Let's go archives for that. Run archives. Get those cards. Let's Maker's Eye. No res, which means like it could be Chiashi, or they just don't want to res mode. So there's a Turtlebacks, that's fine. There's a Jackson, that can go. And there's another Kronos Project which can go there. We've got 2 clicks left. If we do this, we have to throw cards away. So what cards can we make use of here? This will keep fueling us money, which saves us clicks for having to use this. And then, yeah. So then we just Mopus. So we got the Levy in hand. Oh, team sponsorship, you're going to score. Chrome retirement? Or is he just going to score Project Kusanagi? Actually, that's... Oh, it is Chrome retirement. Yeah, I suppose Project Kusanagi with team sponsorship's kind of cool because you get to do damage and reinstall stuff. What did you reinstall? Advanced assembly lines, which you're going to fire and put out. Something which is not an agenda. Okay. So let's do that. Let's put that on archives. Let's go and trash server 15 now. Because, yeah, it is not a nice card to leave on the board. We've still only seen 10 influence, I think, so far. Oh, we've seen we've seen 2 Jacksons, haven't we? So that's the 12 influence we've seen now. Let's add this to the score area, and then should we take a poke at R&D? No, we won't take a poke at R&D because we know what's on top. That's ridiculous. We know this isn't an agenda, which, like, at worst, it's another team sponsorship. Sorry, at best it's a team sponsorship, but at worst it's like a snare or a psychic field. So we just Mopus. And next turn, I think we might same old thing, Maker's Eye. We can put the SMC out for equivocation, or we already seen our equivocation actually. I think it might have gone into here. Equivocation, yeah, equivocation's in there, and it is a one-off, so that's gone. So the SMC is just dead to us. Doesn't look like they've got enough ice to be making us need 2 inversificators. So 2 installs. We should probably check one, but I think it's probably better if we just Maker's Eye. And if they're on 5 agenda points though, so we really do kind of have to check one. Let's do the Maker's Eye first. They're both naked, so we can get to them. So that is that. So we match for 4, and then we go break, 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 and both our spoons went, didn't they? So yeah, we do have to keep dealing with this long term. So we will move this to there. That might not have been the best because we might want to go there. That's fine. We'll live with that. Let's see. Project Kusanagi. God, you're a pain in the ass. Let's just steal that one. DNA tracker, hedge fund. Yes, we could have taken the Kusanagi. That's a lesson learned. So if we run one of these and it's a snare, we have a click to clear the tag, but not to draw up if they've got a Neuro EMP in hand. But we can't risk one of them being a brain trust. We do kind of have to check. We can run archives and draw 2 cards, but then we can't clear the tag. That's fine. Let's run archives to get 2 cards. And then I said I like to normally check the newest cards as the first card installed, so let's check 20 instead. Shock. So do we care? There's no point trashing that, right? Yeah. Server 20 is a shock. If this is a brain trust, we just lose. He's Jackson in, which means he probably haven't won. So friends, Jackson, Art Lockdown. Yeah, because if he can find the Art Lockdown now, he gets to hit that. Which means we might just want to use the levy while we can. Yeah, so we know that there's 1 Arc Lockdown in that 15 cards. We might just want to go and take it. He hasn't installed any new cards, so we don't have to worry about him going to score. So let's go archives. Let's run that to draw 2. I'm just trying to think if there's anything we particularly want in there. We could just... Do we want to put the personal touch on here? I think with money's fine. So I think we'll do that to get money and put it in the heap. And then let's levy while we can, just in case it goes. Cool. It's a tense one. It's a close game. So we've got 15 cards left between our stack and our grip. We do need to get at least 3 more agendas. We've seen all the Project Kusanagis, which means like there's like 3 more 1-pointers we need to get at worst. Friends for Team sponsorship in server 23. Team sponsorship in server 24. What does he bring back with those if we don't deal with them? These? Oh, is it... Might not be bad to run archives, so we have seen shocks. This is going to draw us a card anyway from Beth. Should we just run R&D? Because then we can get to these we want to go and deal with them. Yeah, so let's run R&D. Let's break that for a credit. And then move it to there. Okay, so Jackson is back in his traps. Probably. Or he Jackson him back in, like, yeah, so friends. Friends of Art Assembly Arts and one card. So that's a data mine, that's fine. So we just go and deal with both of those. Oh no. So if he's installed that, is that telegraphing that he's got something in hand? Let's check the hand. We can break this, access both the cards, and still go and clear these if we want to. Yeah, I like that. HQ 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can actually trash one of these thinking about it, but that's kind of fine because we know he's not going to top deck one, and then we know there's none in hand. So we're going to access both these cards. If they're both snares, Clone Retirement we'll put on there. Oh no! Oh, we could just take this. We'll take 5 net damage. Yeah, that's fine. Hey, GG. Right, thank you very much for watching. I'll be back very soon with some more videos. Cheers, bye bye.